What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the first official This Is Life episode. Episode 1, 2018, July, of course. So, because this is the first episode, I don't have any comments or emails or scenarios to go by. But what I do have is experience. Things I've been through, things I've seen on Instagram, on Facebook, things that I can go over or speak about. What I've chosen to go over today for my first episode is, of course, the biggest, the one that everybody goes through, and the one that's the most complicated for everybody is relationships. With that being said, we're going to focus mostly on the partnership between man and woman, male and male, whatever it is. It all kind of falls under the same concept because we're human. We have emotions. We all think very similar. We feel very similar. And because of that, we can relate. So I always come across this way of thinking on social media, in life, people I speak to at work, and it doesn't work. It will never work because it's a partnership. There's a reason when people do things as a relationship, it's a word that's used very commonly, together. It's said a lot. People think it a lot, but for some reason, none of what actually happens shows that that's what's being done. In arguments, there's always I win, she won, she's straying from the subject, which is an indication of me winning this argument. It's her being emotional and not following the argument of the subject you guys brought up in the first place. Why? That's easy. Because she's affected. Unfortunately, in this life, you're only affected most by the people you love. That's not just your partner, that's your family. That's your friends, the people you actually care about. Because the people you don't care about, they won't have that effect on you. They won't make you mad. They won't hurt you. But that's what makes it worth it. I'm going to tell you right here, right now, that that's okay. You want to be hurt by the people you love because that's part of what shows you love them. That's part of what shows you that they've earned the right to affect you. It doesn't make it okay, obviously, because you care for them. But I will tell you that it's okay to feel that. Because pain, failure, all of those words that we don't like or that we don't agree with, those are the best teachers in life. That's how you learn to progress, move forward, do it better the second time. See, there's a common misconception with your relationship, with your life, with your family, that we're not supposed to hurt, that we're not supposed to fail, but we are. That's how we build. That's how we get stronger. There's a saying that goes, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. There's a lot of truth to that. Because I've always said that you can try to teach people whatever you want. You can speak well, you can be well educated, and you can hit those points one after another. But at the end of the day, people won't learn the same until they put their hand over that fire. Because I guarantee you that they won't do it again. Because pain is what causes you to make these adjustments in life. And there's nobody better to help you through that except the person you love, the person you're next to, the person you're willing to fight life with. Because life is a struggle. It will test you over and over. And just when you think things are going good, it'll take one day, 1 second for you to figure out you don't know nothing. But that's okay. We start over. We progress. You look forward, not back. You can take a look back, but only to remember what happened, to remember why you made the change, to remember the lesson you learned. But you do not want to live there. Because those moments, unfortunately, our brains are wired that way. And we remember what hurts us a lot more and a lot easier than when we remember the happy times. That's how you know failure is what affects you more. It has more of a profound effect on the way you live life from that point forward. There's a lot of moments that we can set back in our life and think, From that point forward, it was different. From that point in the past, I did things a certain way. There was certain things I didn't like about myself, whatever the case may be. But from that point, from that moment, a divorce, a separation, someone cheated on you, someone passed away, something happened that profoundly changed the way you feel. It made you think different. It showed you a perspective that you had never even thought about before because you were living life the way you thought it had to be lived. The routines of the day-to-day basis. And that's how it happens. Now, what we do is let's take all of that information and keep it in your head, because in your relationship, it will always help. Always. And everybody's different. We're all individuals. We think different. We feel different. But because we're human, we're all affected similarly. So let's take this scenario. You've been with your boyfriend or girlfriend for several years. Things kind of seem not as exciting anymore. You've fallen into a rut, into a routine. You feel like that person doesn't love you the same because they don't make the effort on Valentine's Day, on your birthday, on your anniversary, whatever the case may be. That's not a bad thing, necessarily. It means you've been with that person long enough to be comfortable where they feel they don't have to go out of their way to make you feel like you have to be there. That's one point. On the other side of the spectrum, it can be a bad thing because you've fallen into a routine. I've always believed that you have to live life with your partner as if you're dating. Always. Always feel those butterflies. Always try to feel those butterflies. Because love isn't always a feeling. It's not always an emotion. You can't sit there and tell me you love that person when you're angry. They do something that upsets you or frustrates you or you're just fed up with. You don't sit there and say, goodness, I love that person so much. No, you work up to making the decision to love that person. Always, no matter what. And I understand that there's no unconditional love except that of a parent to a child. But you can, I'm telling you, and I'll repeat it, you can choose to love that person. Always. Because you have to remember that that person is the person that was there for you. That's the person you felt so amazing for when certain things happened in your life. Look, I understand that not everybody pays attention to the details, but the details play such a vital role in the way you make your partner feel. A flower here, a flower there, I get it. It can become monotonous. But it depends on the situation. If you give them a flower on every special occasion, anniversary, birthday, St. Patrick's Day, whatever the case may be, it becomes expected. It becomes normal. They think, oh, here comes another flower. But guess what? If you flip it on them just a little bit, send them a flower on a Tuesday, just because it's a Tuesday. When they don't expect it, that's when the heart rate increases. That's when they think, wait a minute, this isn't normal. How about you take it to another level? It's a Saturday, no reason for there to be any kind of occasion, any kind of dinner, any kind of surprise, anything. But you do it anyways. Plan something simple. I mean super simple. It doesn't have to be a movie. It doesn't always have to be dinner. Find a park. Under a tree, a blanket, some of those little fake candles that light up. And then take a board game with you. A speaker for your phone to connect to where you can play some nice quiet music. And literally just sit there with them. Enjoy the music. Enjoy their company. But don't do it for any future reason. Don't do it because you're expecting something in return. Do it because you love being with them. You love their company. You love sitting with them. And I promise you, those small moments, those are the ones that will get your relationship back on track. And those are the ones that are going to bring a smile to her face and make her happy. Now, in comedy, I've heard these skits about arguments, about, oh, she's winning and I'm losing, and stick your ground and you're going to get this. You're going to win. You're going to win this argument. But it shouldn't be that way. You guys are partners. You're supposed to figure this out together. Babe, what did I do? How can I fix this? Can I let go of my pride in order to get us to where we want to be? Babe, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I get it. It's hard to say I was wrong. For either female or male, it doesn't matter. It's human nature to want to be right. But are you willing to risk your relationship on that small fact that you can't say I'm wrong? I wouldn't. Ever. At the end of the day, that person next to you, the one that's willing to be there forever, the one that's willing to fight with you every day, she's the one worth it. He's the one worth it. You fight every day. You fight. You go to work. You're tired. You're exhausted. You pay bills. You feel like nothing's getting better. But all it takes is time. All it takes is commitment. Stand there. Be with your partner. And things will always work out if you're willing to do the right thing. Swallow that pride. Because believe me, that pride ruins things. Okay, so now we're going to go at this from a different angle. I hear this idea, I've read this idea on Instagram, Facebook, these quotes, these memes, these statements about playing games, about testing each other's commitment and love. Stop showing them emotion, affection, and see if they stick around. If they don't, that person's not for you. That's ridiculous. That will never work because we're adults. There's attachment, there's emotion. You don't test love. You support it. You enforce it. You give everything you got to the person you love. If it doesn't come back, guess what? At least you did your part. And if you don't get what you want in return, guess what? You still end up learning a lesson and you move forward. Your next relationship should not suffer based on the traumatic experience that your last relationship might have given you. As a matter of fact, don't take it as trauma. Take it as lesson learned, make your adjustments, and you move forward. You give the next person everything you have. Don't protect your heart. Your heart's there for that reason. It's supposed to make you feel love. It's supposed to hurt, unfortunately. But that's what makes us such unique individuals, that we each feel differently, that we each hurt differently. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. You give what you have every second. Don't second think it. Don't overanalyze this text I'm about to send. What if he doesn't respond? I hope she doesn't think I'm clingy, or whatever the case may be. Those things, those complicated things are what get us where we are. Those are the reason relationships end, or they don't work out. Or we meet this person that's the most amazing human being you've ever been around, and you lose them because you're so busy planning. You're so busy not trying to make a mistake that you make a mistake. Trust yourself. Trust your heart. Trust what you feel. Trust your gut. Because after everything happens, the truth will come out. You want them to love you. How are you going to get them to love you by playing games? How are they going to learn who you are and become affectionate with you and fall head over heels with you if all you're doing is planning the way this works? It doesn't work like that. It never works like that. You love, then love. You want to call them? Are you home alone? Are you bored? Are you sad because you haven't seen him or her? Then call them. If they don't answer, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. We're so bent out of shape over not getting these responses as quickly as we'd like. Why? Because of social media. Because of fast food restaurants. We're so wired to receive things quickly in this day and age. Because that's how we receive things. You don't know something, you Google it, and you find your answer within seconds. It doesn't work like that in a relationship. You have to be patient. You have to be understanding. Put yourself in their shoes and you'll get more out of this than you think possible. We're going to figure these things out. Today, I had to just ramble about relationships and certain concepts that we all struggle with. But if you keep it simple, it will always turn out better. We overcomplicate things because we feel sad, because we feel hurt, because we feel angry. But if you simplify it and understand that people live lives, busy lives sometimes, it's okay not to get a response quick enough. Send me your comments right here on this channel. Send me emails to thisislifematic@gmail.com or hit me up on Instagram at thisislifematic, and we'll talk about this on a weekly basis. If things seem a little messy or unorganized, I apologize, YouTube. This is the first episode. I do have plans to make this a little more professional, maybe go live, invite some guests from my emails or comments on Skype and upload it to YouTube. Put up a green screen so that it looks a little bit more professional, and eventually, hopefully, things do look a lot better. Remember, YouTube, I'll be back on Tuesdays and Thursdays, approximately 7:30 p.m. Before I go, I want to give a shout out to the girls I met on Omegle and Chat Roulette. Let me see if I can get their names on here real quick. I owe them that much of a favor for subscribing and talking to me and giving me some subjects to go over. Georgina and Gabby from Omegle. And I'm sorry I didn't get your name from Chat Roulette, but we had a nice conversation about certain things. Psychology, your dogs, everything. I appreciate the time. Keep your chins up and remember, there's always another way. Have a good night, YouTube.